Look at this person here. Do you trust him? I don't. What you see sat there smiling at the camera is a projection. This is what he and his team want you to think about him. He's wearing a suit, but the jacket is off. He's not wearing a tie, and he's just in his shirt and trousers. And his shirt, the sleeves are pulled up like he's working really hard at something. And as for that smile has about as much sincerity as a cute little ferret looking into your eyes, trying not to bite your finger. So this image of Rishi Sunak smiling on the sofa with his sleeves rolled up is a lie. Remember, this is the guy who borrowed a Sainsbury's employee's car so he could be photographed filling it with fuel. I don't trust Rishi Sunak at all. So he appeared on This Morning, and This Morning is a UK daytime TV show. And he sat there being questioned by Andy Peters and Rochelle Holmes. So he obviously got off very, very lightly there, didn't he? Those two presenters are about as intimidating and politically inclined as Thomas the Tank Engine. And they asked him what his favourite McDonald's was, for fuck's sake. Now, we are living in a time here in the UK, thanks to his actions as Chancellor of the Exchequer, many people can't even afford a fucking McDonald's. And he lied about it as well because he says he loves the breakfast wrap. Now, someone should tell him that was removed from the menu back in 2020. So, I should know. I'm pleasantly plump. And that's the thing with politicians like Rishi Sunak. They sit there giving off this false projection about what they're not. Meanwhile, literally everyone in the UK now, we've seen past this charade. We know what politicians in Parliament are really like. We know why they're doing it. Well, most of them anyway. These people are liars and charlatans, and they're in that job because of the money and the pension involved. It's all about them. And the fact that these idiots in Parliament, they assume or they think that we don't know what they're up to when in fact we do, is so condescending and insulting to the voters of this country that I think it's a massive kick in the bollocks to democracy. These people couldn't give a flying shit about their constituencies. And as for Rishi Sunak, his constituency, ironically, is the poorest in the country. And he's the richest MP in Parliament. That should tell you everything. So he sat there with his McDonald's pretending to be one of us and, in his shirt with the sleeves rolled up and that fake-ass smile. Meanwhile, he's married to one of the richest women in the world. It would really be comforting if for once we had a Prime Minister who actually knew what it was like to be skint. And another thing about this interview, why the hell didn't they get an expert on here to question him? This guy could be the next Prime Minister. Well, if the polls are correct, and remember, polls mean nothing. Polls told us we were going to stay in the EU. Polls told us that Hillary Clinton was going to be the President of the United States. But the polls are telling us that Liz Truss is going to win by a huge margin and she will be the next Prime Minister. And yes, I would prefer her because she is the best of a bad bunch. After all, she said the right thing. She will cut taxes. Meanwhile, this guy has promised to tax us more. And that is on top of the cost of living crisis that we are already suffering because of him and his actions. I mean, I've never ever heard of a Conservative Chancellor printing money to give to people so they could sit on their asses back home doing nothing during the lockdown. So really, This Morning could have had a feather in their cap if they had someone like money expert Martin Lewis on the sofa next to him, really grilling him. But they didn't, so they missed the bus on that one. So there we go. I don't want this guy to be Prime Minister. This guy should be nowhere near politics in this country after the stunts he pulled, especially that US green card. And the fact he also wants to go and live in California. This guy is about as patriotic about Britain as Nicola Sturgeon. Rishi Sunak cannot be allowed to be Prime Minister of the UK because we can't afford it. And that's what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you liked my video. And if you haven't already, then please consider subscribing. You can also join my channel and enjoy some little perks, just like these lovely people you see on the screen in front of you right now. And that's that. So until my next video, take care of yourselves and Roger Trout.